Today I'm going to be showing you some of my hazels. I'm going to be doing some work on one of them in particular, and I'm starting off with this collected piece of material. As a species for bonsai, hazel isn't really often used all that much because of the leaf size and the difficulties with it, but I think it's a nice tree. I think the best part of this tree is this lovely base, how it flares out. It's got some nice roots coming down. It then moves upwards and it's got quite a nice spread of branches up at the top. From this angle you can see the major cuts that I made. I made one large cut here and a large cut here. They're healing over really well, and hazel, it really is a vigorous plant that can deal with a lot. Hazel do have a fairly decent sized leaf, but to be honest, I don't see it really as being any different in size to a beech or a hornbeam, so I don't see the problem with that. And for me, the bags of character to these trees. They're easy to grow. I really like them. This branch here is a good example of a branch being left on for the health of the plant more than the look of the plant, and this really needs to be taken down. I was hoping for some new buds to grow along this, but there's actually nothing really grown from the old wood. Maybe that's one of the issues with hazel. Although there was a large chop here that I did, this branch is super long, so I think at some point I'm going to cut this off here. Later in the year, I think that'll be a cut that has to happen. The tree you've just seen was collected in February of this year, whereas this was collected 12 months ago. And at the time, I wasn't even sure what it was. I thought it might be a silver birch because it wasn't in leaf. It turned out to be a hazel. And I've got a decision to make on this because it's got some fundamental problems. I've wired the structure at the top, and I think that's okay, but I've got to do something with the trunk. This wire's been on a while now, probably at least 6 months, so it's definitely time to get that off before I make any decisions on the rest of the tree. As trees go, it's really a bit of a mess. I'll just remove these lower branches so we can at least see the trunk. It's got this awful knuckle down here. It's basically like a kind of inverse taper. We've got a fairly big wound up here, and if I rotate the tree, there's another large wound around this side. I don't mind this one so much because this is callousing over nicely, and I think that might become quite a nice feature. First things first, I need to get rid of this branch. And the solution that I've decided on is an air layer. So let's just do a nice cut round there and a nice cut higher up round here. I don't really know if you can air layer hazel, really. But I'm all about the experimentation. Now that I've cut 2 circles around, the bark should hopefully just peel off. Oh, look how nicely that came off. Oh! Oh, I'm liking that. I'm no big fan of jewellery, but how's that for designer? We'll start off with some rooting powder applied liberally to this top edge. This is where the roots will form from this circle here. They don't come from there, so this is the part you just want to get plenty on. And now I use a friend of mine, Sam, Nilly's Bonsai, he taught me this technique. Just get the moss in some cling film. Wrap it all around that top section like that. And then just use the cling film to kind of get it all together. Seems to work quite well. Once I've done that though, I do like to get some wire and just gather up this bottom section of cling film here, and quite tightly twist this wire around the base to just really seal that in. Work my way up the cling film till I get to the top, and when I'm up here I just crank that around. I will just cut these straggly bits of cling film off just to neaten it up a bit. That's this hazel dealt with. The problems at the base there, they had to do something with them. I couldn't leave them like that. And if this air layers, it could produce quite an interesting little tree, who knows. But what I would be interested in is, have you ever worked with hazel yourself? Do you know, can I even air layer them? Do they work? And do they turn into decent bonsai? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for joining me as always, and have a great day.